Hey there, friends and viewers, this is Poggy with TGN, and I wanted to show you heroic Murozond. There we go. I knew I could do it. From a healing perspective, I believe Towley did basically just the general experience of this boss, and I kind of wanted to go over a more healing perspective. First of all, this particular fight is quite difficult for us healers because it's done at a 378 item level average, basically. Like if your gear isn't near a 378, somewhere in the vicinity of it, this is going to be really difficult for you to heal, and also probably for you to do any damage and tanking as well. You're going to want to have a pretty good item level, because everything in here does drop 378 gear, so obviously if you're able to down the bosses, that's great. You can get your 378 gear that way. You're probably going to want to be around 372, 370 in that vicinity to be able to actually do these bosses pretty decently. At the start of the fight, the boss basically needs to be turned away from the group immediately, because he's going to start doing a Spitfire and some Temporal Blasts as well, which need to be turned away so we don't end up wiping the group immediately. Every 25%-ish, every 20 to 25%, the group is going to want to go and hit the clock in the middle of the room, the timer. You'll see that in a minute. And that's going to basically reset the entire instance to the beginning, except for the boss's health. Now, what that means is that as a healer, especially a druid, you're going to want to pop Tree and Tranquility at the very beginning of the fight. If you're a priest or a shaman or a pally, you're going to also want to pop your cooldowns in the very beginning of the fight, or somewhere in the middle if the tank's taking a lot of damage. You can wait a few seconds before you do it, but basically, the sooner the better, because you're not going to have much time to use them anyway. It's only going to be about 25% of the boss's health that you get to use your cooldowns. So popping your cooldowns immediately, not a bad choice. Now, these gold circles in the ground that you see forming, they're actually creating little fire circles that you're going to want to avoid. As you can see there, some people aren't avoiding them properly, or they're running through them. Now, that's going to happen, especially with these pugs that you do. And it's not a big deal, just heal through it, and if they die, it's not the end of the world, because you're just going to reset anyway. So basically, as soon as that's done, you run to the middle of the room and hit the clock, and everything starts over from the beginning. And you have all your cooldowns back, your health is back up, and everybody else is all alive again. Including if you did a rebirth, that would also be up as well. So now, basically the tank's going to want to kite the boss around the room, because these circles in the ground are going to get very stacked up together and kind of jumbled, and it's going to be difficult to do any maneuvering around the boss. So basically the boss is going to be tanked around the clock here. And however, the tank is going to want to make sure that he doesn't go too fast so that the healer can't even keep up with him, which is kind of what's happening here. I'm barely getting a chance to even get a heal off, because the tank is actually going a little bit too fast for me to be able to keep up. Which is okay, because I'm just elite and I keep up anyway. But the tank is about to die there, so we are going to have to... I did a rebirth here on him, but he didn't actually take it, I don't think, because we just went ahead and reset it, because it was about another 20% health that went down there. So we can reset it again at 20% more, and basically that just rinses and repeats. There's not really much else to it other than that. Just stay out of flame breath. I mean, if you're within, like, you see how I was standing right there? If I was standing right there when that went off, that would have probably killed me, because the flame breath kind of has a really wide berth around the dragon's mouth, Murozond's mouth. It's actually kind of weird how wide that flame breath goes, but yeah, you can see just how far it goes, and it will kill you from any one of those sides. The further you are away from it, though, the less damage it does. So stand far away, and you probably won't get hit by it too bad at all. As you can see, I did get pretty much one-shotted there, though, by the fire. But again, not the end of the world. Just reset it, good to go. And that was about another 10%, 15%. It's iffy. If the tank dies, hit it. If the healer dies, you can resurrect or hit it. Doesn't matter. But just make sure that you're watching your feet on this fight. As you can see here, I barely made it out of that one because I was doing my Tranquility, and then I did my healing touch on the tank there. So it is important to make sure that you keep the tank alive. That's really who you're worried about. Nobody else should really be taking that much damage other than the occasional shadow bolts, I think they're called. I can't remember the exact name of the move that he does, but basically it does 25k damage to everybody, and that's basically just one wild growth and, if necessary, a rejuvenation on everybody. Other than that, shouldn't be too much group damage overall. So after that, after you get them down to about 5 million, which is about where we're at, and you have 2 of those temporal things left over, you're probably in the clear for this. Now, as you'll see on this particular fight, I ended up being the last one alive, which is never fun. But I'll let you see it for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and peace out, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. So this has been Poggy with TGN. I'll see you next time.
What you have done has come to pass. The moment of my demise alone.